The 2005 World Rally Championship has moved into the second half of the season, and we've crossed to South America for round 9. This is Rally Argentina. It's the 25th anniversary of the event, which is based in Cordoba, just over 700 kilometers northwest of the country's capital, Buenos Aires. It's another gravel event, but it's faster and smoother than the recent Mediterranean rallies, littered with flat-out jumps and dramatic water splashes. And we've left behind the heat of the Northern Hemisphere summer for the Argentine winter, and the changeable weather conditions add another dimension to the challenge ahead. The crews will be cheered all the way by the hugely enthusiastic and knowledgeable local fans. Sebastian Loeb's never won here, and the world champion will need to change that if he's to make it a historic 6 wins in a row this series. It's becoming a record-breaking season for him.
It's interesting to fight for records, but for me the most important is the championship and also the pleasure I can take in the car fighting for a victory. That's the most important motivation.
Loeb's rejoined at Citroën by Francois Duval, who returns with new co-driver Sven Smits after an enforced 2-rally absence. The Belgian's under strict instructions to bring his Zara home in one piece. Petter Solberg's lost ground in the championship recently. Subaru will hope there'll be no problems with water splashes.
In hitting deep water at high speed, we would get some front-end damage to the bodywork, radiator, the sort of whole of the front of the car, which we couldn't quite put our fingers on. Since then, we've been back, and we've been to a river in England with a bulldozer, and we've made lots of different angles and lots of different depths, and we've approached it in every gear and so on. And we've got a slightly better understanding of what was going on, I think, and hopefully we fixed it.
It's been a frustrating first half of the season too for former world champion Marcus Grönholm. The Finn won here in 2003, but it's been a year since the Peugeot driver's last victory. Grönholm's teammate Marco Martins had a torrid time as well since moving to the French manufacturer.
Marco, your team boss Jean-Pierre Nicolas has said publicly you're not motivated, you're not trying hard enough. Guilty or not guilty?
I think I've tried everything to make us go as fast as possible. So at the moment I've been told to wait until engineering is making some changes and come up with some plan. So I can't do more than I can.
Do you feel the gloves are off a bit with the team management if they're saying this publicly, openly? These things are normally sorted out in-house?
No, I think they can say what they want. I can't stop anybody saying anything.
They stop you criticising the car, though. Maybe that's a bit unfair.
I shouldn't criticise my car, I think.
Tony Gardemeister currently lies third in the Drivers' Championship. The 4 drivers scored points in every round so far, and he'll be hoping to repeat his impressive second last time out in Greece. Mitsubishi will want to build on a solid first half of the year, while the struggling Skoda team are desperate for an improvement in speed and results. With 6 wins already under his belt, Sebastian Loeb's lead in the Drivers' Championship is 23 points, and the pressure's on Solberg to close the gap. In the manufacturer's standings, it's Citroën leading the way, but with the huge rivalry between them and Peugeot, that battle is a long way from over. The rally got underway with 2 runs through the 3-kilometre Super Special, a chance for thousands of enthusiastic fans to get a close-up view of their heroes in action. Marcus Grönholm took the early advantage here at the pro racing complex at Carlos Paz, and Petter Solberg was quickest on the second loop. The Norwegian has a narrow advantage, while championship leader Sebastian Loeb is 4th, 3.4 seconds further back. Friday morning and overnight rain means a very damp start to day 1, but it hasn't dampened the enthusiasm of the local supporters. The rain's good news for Sebastian Loeb. The muddy, compacted surface means there's no loose gravel to sweep clear for the following cars, but it is extremely slippy.
Et gauche 130 plus cheminot sable.
Peter Solberg follows the Frenchman onto the 14-kilometre stage 3, eager to hold on to his slim advantage. Loeb doesn't have a good record here. He was unable to beat his teammate Carlos Sainz last year, and an accident in 2003 was, amazingly, his last crash in the WRC. He's reached the first split and he sets a time of 3 minutes 43.8 seconds. Solberg normally excels in such changeable conditions, and for the first time in a few events, the Pirelli tires should have the edge on their Michelin rivals, so this weekend could be the Subaru driver's big chance to fight back. The first split is coming up, and he's a second slower over the 5.4 kilometres. Work still to do then for the Norwegian. Back with Loeb, and despite the slippery conditions, he's been pushing hard. It's a solid start from the championship leader.
The conditions are not so bad. In some places it's some mud, so in generally on the sand you have some grip, but sometimes you come on the mud and it's a bit hot.
Loeb seems to be enjoying the challenge, and Solberg's not far from a finish now. Look how hard he's trying, throwing his Impreza through the last few corners. He was a second down at the first split. Has he been able to respond?
Flat 6 right plus long of a crest. Repeat in 180, flat 6 right plus of a long crest, 80, 6 right plus, 60, okay.
A great fight back from Peter Solberg. He finishes the stage a second up. His lead now 4.7 seconds. Precious building on Marque Martin. Despite lying fourth in the Drivers' Championship, the Estonian has been a shadow of his former self this season, and the ongoing war of words with Peugeot seems to be having a negative effect. He's nearly 30 seconds off the pace on stage 3 alone. Teammate Marcus Gronholm, while always also frustrated at the 307's lack of pace this year, is giving it everything this morning. The Finn won here in 2003. He may struggle to repeat that result, but he's still third fastest.
Marcus, you're not looking super happy. I have no confidence with the car, absolutely no. It's so slippery, and in the brakings the car is not stopping. We are sliding straight, and there is completely wrong something in the diff, so I don't know.
Mitsubishi's Gigi Galli is looking typically flamboyant. His all-action driving style has produced some impressive performances in the Lancer this year, and he's competitive again this morning in Argentina. Fifth after stage 3, although from the look of his rear bumper, he's had a lucky escape somewhere. After 2 rallies with Carlos Sainz replacing him to gain vital manufacturers' points, Francois Duval is back in harness for Citroën. It'll be interesting to see how his 2 rally absence has affected his confidence. Stand-in Sainz helped the team to take the lead in the manufacturers' standings. The pressure is now on Duval to make sure they stay there. He's made a very cautious start, only 10th fastest on the test, 8th place on the leaderboard. The familiar trio, Solberg-Gronholm, leading the way after stage 3, followed by the 2 Mitsubishis of Rovanperä and Galli. An excellent start for the Japanese manufacturer. Further back, Subaru's Chris Atkinson just outside the points in 9th. Lead Skoda driver Jani Parsonen is 12th. This is one of the best supported rounds of the World Championship, and the region will be flooded with up to 2 million spectators over the weekend. Mitsubishi have made improvements to the Lancer's rear suspension, and Harry Rovanperä is already taking full advantage. He currently lies 4th and said before the event that a second podium finish of the year for the team is a real possibility here in Argentina. But a mistake here from the Finn. Stalls the engine, and valuable time will be lost as he tries to get it restarted. Indeed, he drops 40 seconds getting the car back up to speed. Teammate Gigi Galli is the first beneficiary of Rovanperä's mistake. That moves him up to 4th. The Italians impressed Mitsubishi so much this year that he'll now be appearing for the team in all the remaining rounds. Despite his flair and speed, he hasn't run trouble-free this season, and there's another problem here. The unforgiving Argentine terrain has damaged his front suspension, and he too has gone off. Repairs are made, but a later transmission problem means the end of the day for Gigi Galli. Jani Parsonen produced Skoda's best finish in 2004 with 6th place at his home event in Finland. None of the Czech team drivers have come close to bettering that this season. Mechanical failures and a lack of pace have meant a disappointing start to the season. The bad luck looks set to continue here. He's damaged his suspension as well, and he will play no further part today. With Jani out of action, it's left to Armin Schwarz to fly the flag for Skoda. The team's promised more development on the Fabia in the coming months, but it's a familiar story for the German this morning. He's lying 12th after stage 5. Tony Gardemeister had been trailing the Mitsubishis until they both had problems, but it's been a very bruising morning. The Finn damaged his steering arm after hitting a rock. Marco Martin, though, is at least able to move up in the right direction, gaining a position after stage 5. He's now up to 6th, and at the end of the stage he is diplomatic despite his frustrations with the car.
30, 4 left into 2 plus right, don't cut, long.
Same as always, no problems here.
As was the case in Greece, Sebastian Loeb's begun the rally here, chasing Peter Solberg for the lead. The Frenchman sets his first fastest stage time on stage 4 and closes to within 2.6 seconds of the Norwegian.
Et droite 81 long. Droite 81 long sur gauche à fond.
Solberg has selected a softer tyre than Loeb this morning, and it seems to be working well so far, but that stage win for his rival will come as a warning. He's approaching the end of stage 5 now, as he held on to his 2.6 second advantage.
Line into 3 left, plus half long, tightens 2 at gap. Okay.
Well, it's close, but no, Solberg is slower again, and already the lead is in the hands of the championship leader. Just 1.2 seconds will separate the leading pair as they finish the stage. Gronholm is slipping further back as each test progresses. Gardemeister's up to 4th following problems for the Mitsubishis. Can Peter Solberg regain the lead? Find out after the break. Welcome back to Rally Argentina. There's one more stage before the midday service break. Peter Solberg was leading this event last year until an infamous meeting with the water splash. Stage 6 includes the same crossing. So will the Subaru's team's work to prevent the same problem have paid off?
Tightens, 1 tightens. Early 4 right bus, open slow, keep left of a crest. 60, deep water splash 2. 20. Line into 2 right minus.
There was the warning from co-driver Phil Mills. Solberg has backed right off. Considering the extra testing going into preparing this car for the moments there, that was a very tentative approach to the deep water. With 80 kilometres completed this morning, the harder tyre Sebastian Loeb selected may be an advantage through stage 6 as Solberg's softer rubber begins to wear out. Loeb approaches the same water splash and there is no hesitation from the Citroën driver. The Frenchman rarely slips up once he's taken the lead, and he wastes little time here in seeing off the early challenge of Solberg. He's 7.1 seconds quicker than the Norwegian over stage 6.
100 mètres. Attention, ciel pour droite 159 frein pour gauche 90. Et droite 110 se jette. Sur gauche frein pour droite 60 long tard.
Despite his frustrations behind the wheel, Marco Martin is at least making progress. The Estonian is 4th fastest on stage 6 and passes Harry Rovanperä to claim 5th place on the leaderboard. Using virtual spectator, we can compare Loeb and Solberg's approach to the water splash in stage 6. It shows very clearly that the Subaru driver is still not fully confident in the ability of his Impreza to pass through the crossing at full speed. He's 35 kilometers an hour slower through the water, and the lost momentum makes it clear to see how the Norwegian lost 7.1 seconds over this stage. Martin's move to 5th is the only change in the top 8 after stage 6, but at the head of the field, Loeb is beginning to edge away from Solberg. 8.3 seconds now, the gap between 1st and 2nd.
Petter, good battle with Sebastian this morning, but you lost a bit of time on stage 6.
Yeah, the water splashes. He didn't take any risk there. It was, the decision that the team have taken the charge off and said, stop, drive first gear over, no risk, and there were 3 water splashes, so I'm just doing as the team say, and we have to look at the results after that.
Does that mean you haven't solved the problem from last year?
They have been working very hard with it, and we have tried absolutely the best, but it's a decision we have taken anyway.
I take that as a yes. You seem to be driving with real confidence this morning.
Yes, it's going very well, but the battle with Peter is very hard, and we are ready to take some risk and to push as much as possible to be in this position.
After a true rally break, Loeb's teammate Francois Duval is taking time getting back up to speed.
Yeah, sure. It's difficult for me. Come back in Argentina. It's a difficult rally. I stay in my home some 2 rally. Necessary, I wait the confidence. If the confidence come back, the time is coming better.
On to the first of the afternoon's repeated stages, where the road surface is expected to have deteriorated, revealing more rocks and ruts. Well, after 2 events away, Francois Duval's confidence is slowly but surely coming back. It's the first time with new co-driver Sven Smits, but the Belgian duo move up to 8th after stage 8. Subaru's second driver Chris Atkinson is taking a very cautious approach to his first attempt at Rally Argentina after a string of disappointing results. He's moving in the opposite direction. He's now down in 9th. Harry Rovanperä has looked very determined since his mistake earlier in the day. He's competed on this event 7 times before, so he knows the rally a lot better than most of his rivals. 4th fastest time on stage 7 is good enough to reclaim that 5th place from Peugeot's Marco Martin. Like Martin, Tony Gardemeister has scored points in every rally so far this year, but the Finn's pace has been erratic. He's shown in Greece what he's capable of with a stunning performance and a 2nd place finish, and he needs to reproduce that speed with more regularity. His earlier mechanical problems behind him, Gardemeister is back up to full speed and further cements his 4th place on the leaderboard. Fellow Finn Marcus Gronholm hasn't been outside the top 3 stage times all day, but up till now he's been unable to match the pace of the leading pair. He was complaining earlier of the Peugeot 307 being very difficult to control over the slippery surfaces, but with the sandy base absorbing much of the overnight rain, he's looking more comfortable this afternoon. The Finn claims his own first stage win on stage 7, but he's still half a minute behind the leader.
Ja oikein hidas, kirraa. Vasen eri, oikein eri, kivi sisällä. 5 vasen, nopea kivi sisällä, suppu. 5 vasen eri, helppo.
With so many water crossings on Rally Argentina, Solberg's reluctance to risk the car through them could become the difference between winning and losing this afternoon. He's still pushing hard where he can, though, desperate to keep Loeb within touching distance.
30 narrow, early 6 right minus tightens, 100. Flat 6 right plus long, 50, caution slow, early 6 left plus, keep in of a jump, 6, right 30, line into short 4, right minus, tightens keep in, to early 4, left minus, open block.
Dramatic onboard pictures show just how hard the Norwegian is pushing, but no matter how much effort he puts in, the world champion always seems able to keep the Subaru driver at arm's length, and after the last 3 rallies have almost capitulated to Loeb, he's clearly enjoying this tight battle. At least until this moment, when he comes across a cow in the road, flat out. He does all he can to avoid the unfortunate animal. A very lucky escape for Sebastian, and that is sure to have momentarily at least rattled his concentration. Incredibly though, he gets away with just minor damage to the front of the Zara and a puncture. He is still second fastest, and his lead remains safe. So a scare for the leader, but even a cow in the middle of the road can't slow the championship leader's momentum. Over 16 seconds now, the gap between Loeb and Solberg. Loeb looking unbeatable again. Day 1 concludes after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Rally Argentina. Just 2 more stages remain on day 1. It's been a steady but cautious return to rallying for Citroen's Francois Duval, under orders to make sure his Zara gets to the finish, and he will head into the overnight halt in one piece in 7th place. Former teammate Marke Martin is 1 position ahead of him, as has been the case all season. The Estonian's been off the pace of the front runners. It's frustrating for the Proven Rally winner, but again, a top 5 position seems to be the best he can aim for.
150, braking 3 plus right, into 2 plus left long.
It's been another mixed event for Mitsubishi. Gigi Galli has already retired for the day, but the pace of the Lancer has again been good, and Harry Robbenpera has been able to recover from an earlier mistake to hold 5th place going into the first overnight break. Fellow Finn Tony Gardemeister has been frustrated by his lack of pace in Argentina after his heroics in Greece. He's beaten by Robbenpera on both stages 9 and 10, and the gap between the two is down to just 8.1 seconds by the end of the day. That'll definitely be a battle to keep an eye on tomorrow.
Nyppy ehkä hyppää 280. Vasen K plus lyhyt riste.
Another Finn, Marcus Gronholm, has proved he can still produce impressive speed from his Peugeot 307 with his earlier stage win. But for the most part, it's been another frustrating day. He's found conditions better suited this afternoon with more grip in places, and he's set about closing on 2nd place man Petter Solberg ahead of him.
7. Vasen eri ylinypy hyppää Tidolf. 7. Vasen eri. 5. Oikein eri lyhyt.
And it's not a fruitless chase. A set-up mistake from the Subaru driver this afternoon could help Gronholm's cause. The Norwegian raised the Impreza's ride height to counter the rougher stages expected, but all he succeeded in doing is making the car more difficult to drive. Solberg is slower than Gronholm over the last 2 stages of the day. His advantage over the Finn in 2nd place is trimmed to just 13.3 seconds. And that means he's losing time on the leader. Indeed, there seems little the 2 Scandinavians can do about Sebastian Loeb at all. The Frenchman had an engine scare before the rally began, and he's got away with a close brush with the local wildlife. His rivals must be wondering when it's the championship leader's turn to get some bad luck. He's set 6 of the 8 fastest stage times. His lead is over 30 seconds, and that'll be looking ominous to Solberg and Gronholm with still 2 days of rallying left to go. With Loeb already looking comfortable, it's the battle for 2nd that's heating up. There are still 2 long days ahead of them, and the championship leader has a lot of work to do, though, to claim his new record of 6 WRC wins in a row. Further back, Atkinson 9th, Ford's Roman Cresta is down in a frustrating 11th.
Marcus, not an easy day for you.
Okay, we had no problem, but the pace is not there and the car is not easy to handle, so I cannot go like I want, but okay. We are 3rd, not so far away from Petter, so maybe we can do something.
Petter, 2nd overall, but you had hoped for a bit more pace today.
Well, the first few stages I was happy with, actually, and just because of the water splash, we lost time the first time through. Well, the 2nd time we lost also on the water splashes, but obviously we did something in service that was not as good as we hoped. It went rather the other way, but we learned something from it anyway.
Well, Sebastian, it's been another fantastic day for you.
Yes, for the moment it's going perfectly for me. It was a good fight with Peter in the first loop of stages, and in the second we could make a bit a difference. So now we have a lead of 30 seconds. It's very good.
So business as usual for Sebastian Loeb on the first day of Rally Argentina. One of the championship's most dramatic events has not disappointed the thousands of fans today. There's more action coming up tomorrow, including a live stage on British Eurosport, and keep up to date on all developments on WRC.com. We'll see you tomorrow for more. Bye for now.